Hey crafters, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to make a fun penguin card with lots of bright colors and sparkles. Hope you enjoy! So I started this card with a piece of paper that's 5 by 7 inches. The finished card size is just less than that. It'll be 5 by 6.5 inches. I'm using some salvage patina distress ink. I just put it in random places on the card. And then I use some shaded lilac and put this beside the salvaged patina. Now I'm not worrying about blending these colors yet. I'm just planning out where I want them to be at this point. So once I'm happy with the shaded lilac, I'm going to go to my third and final color. I'm going to use some spun sugar, and I'm going to put that in all the other places on the front of this card here. Now this technique works best if you use lighter colors first, like these three, and then use darker shades of the colors later on, as you'll see shortly. So I'm going to go in and blend all these three colors together. And because the colors are quite different from each other, you won't get a perfect blend, but they'll still look really nice. Especially if you pick three colors like these that go so well together. Now it's important that this is completely dry before you do the heat embossing, because there's a lot of ink on the paper right now, and if there's any moisture it will stick to the embossing powder. So I'm going to make sure that I use my heat tool until it's completely dry, and I'll also use an anti-static bag. So for the embossing, I'm going to use this little stamp from the Window Scene Winter stamp set from Lawn Fawn and some Versamark ink. And I'm going to stamp this around the edges of the card. And I'll rotate it every once in a while so that the pattern doesn't look like it's repeated. It looks more random this way. And once the whole edge is covered, I'm going to use some clear embossing powder and sprinkle this on. And then I can heat set it with my heat tool. And once that's completely melted, I'm going to do the same thing again and stamp that stamp in the inside part of this paper. And again, I'm rotating the stamp so that it looks random. And it doesn't matter if you overlap the pattern here. And I'll use some more clear embossing powder and heat set this. And then what you're left with is this beautiful background, but I'm going to go in with some darker colors now and make it really pop. So I started with Chip Sapphire Distress Ink, and I blended this over the areas with salvage patina because I just love that contrast of the blue and the turquoise colors. And then I went in with Wilted Violet, and I blended this over the shaded lilac areas. And then lastly, I went over the whole spun sugar area, and I used some Kitsch Flamingo for this. And I just love how you can see these embossed areas peeking through the darker colors that we put on top. This technique works best if you use a stamp that is a bit more solid rather than an outline stamp. So I'm going to continue blending until I'm happy with this, and then I'll use my distress sprayer and add some water just for some extra texture on this background. And then I'm going to dry it and make sure that I remove any ink that might be on top of those embossed areas as well. And then using the outside-in stitch scallop rectangle stackable dies from Lawn Fawn, I'm going to die cut the larger of the stackable rectangles and the third largest as well. That holographic paper is from Lawn Fawn, and I'm also going to save that little piece on the end. Now to color the penguins, I'm just going to use YR16 to color in the beak and the feet, and then I'll outline it in 100, which is black, and then blend that in with C7. And I wanted this coloring to be quite plain so that we can decorate the white bit of the penguins and make them look extra special. So once all the penguins are colored in, I'm going to use a quickie glue pen and just go around the eyes and the nose and cover the face of the penguin with this glue. This is easy to do with this detailed glue pen. And then I'm going to cover the glue with the Lawn Fawn chunky glitter. And this will give the penguins a really fun look, which I think the recipient will love. So I'll just do that on all the penguins, and you can see how festive and colorful they are. And then I can put the card together. So the finished card size for this will be 5 by 6.5 inches. So I just used a piece of paper that's 5 by 7 inches and cut a 1/2 inch off the bottom. And so I lined up the scalloped rectangle in the middle there, and then I added foam squares to the holographic sheet, and I removed the backing of this and put it in the middle so that it was portrait as well. Now this cardstock is from the holographic 2.0 set, and it's just gorgeous in real life, but it's kind of difficult to photograph here. It catches the light. So I'm just going to add the penguins onto that holographic card. I'll put the one with the sentiment in the middle, and then the left and right penguins on the left and right at the top and the bottom. And I'm going to use the leftover paper on the inside of the card. So I just trimmed that little piece so that it's a rectangle, and I'm going to glue it in the middle near the top of the inside of the card. And then the last penguin can go in the middle of that strip, and that just adds a pop of color and interest to the inside of the card. This card would be perfect for any occasion. And once that's dried, I'm going to add on the front of the card. And I just used a 5 by 7 inch card base for this, and I just trimmed off the bottom 1/2 inch. So it's 5 by 6.5 inches. And once that's secured in place, you can see the beautiful finished card with those playful and sparkly penguins. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video inspiring. If you haven't already, please subscribe so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. Have a crafty day!